I hate to say it, but take two. Welcome, brother Tito. Welcome, Tito. Seriously.
Thank you, man.
We were working on some technical difficulty,
Yeah.
and I do apologize for, that the individuals who will be looking at this later and stuff like that, because they deserve better, and
Right.
the way I came in just wasn't good. So
If we
again,
don't
as I
know,
said, without further ado, my guest today is Tito, Roberto Santos, but from this point on, we'll be calling him Tito. He was one of the original members, of the bar, the Black Alumni Reunion Review, all right, and which started back in Buffalo, and that's where we're coming from, all right. So, T, again, you know, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's start off by sharing, a little bit, about yourself, with the audience, and just kind of tell us where you're coming in from. Just some fun fact about yourself and where you're coming in from.
well, I mean, I could go way back, back 85. I mean, I don't have to go that far. But I could
Listen,
just
go
say
go go where you want to go. This is
where
what
on.
this is all
Okay.
about.
I mean, look, I met you know the brothers back in like 85 in Buffalo. I was up there, man, all the way up until May '92 when I finally got out of college. You know, came down to New York, got several jobs, and then
And we're gonna jump into some of those jobs that you had. That was kind of one of the prelude to me introducing you, and we're gonna have that again, at the front of this interview, given some of the jobs that you had. But definitely. So where are you calling from?
I'm currently right now in Huntersville, North Carolina, which
North
is
Carolina.
not too far, not too far from Charlotte. I'm about 20 minutes, 25 minutes out from Charlotte. I'm 30 minutes out from South Carolina, kind of like I'm borderline South Carolina.
So you're down south.
Yeah, it's very much down south here. Yes, I know north down south.
Yeah. So you left us all here in the cold and then went down
Yes,
south.
I did. I got sick of that cold, Rick. Especially you know how it is in Buffalo. I don't know how Chef does it. God bless him. You know.
Yeah, yes. Some of us are built for cold and some
I
are
agree.
aren't.
I agree with you.
I guess you're not. So, but it's fine. Because sometimes you need a little change and stuff like that. So, it's a good thing. So, we're all good with it. So it's definitely not a problem. You know, but it's amazing. You know how far we've come, right? Uh,
Yes, it
you know,
is.
from the days in Buffalo. And again, I'm gonna say, um, some of you guys, were, there before I did, right? And there's a lot of stories to be told. And again, let's keep it PG, and let
Okay. Yeah, we got to keep it PG because it's being recorded. Yeah.
we're being recorded, and again, we do every now and then we have these individuals who show up.
Yeah. No, I know. That's all right.
I didn't know Chev was European. I really thought he was. I really didn't know that. So
Not European. What are you talking?
that's kind of the consensus on the chat. It's like people are saying Chev is European. So I'm like, really? Which part of Europe? But
Exactly. Exactly. What part of Europe is Chevy European?
well, they do have some of those Europeans there, but it's fine. But again, coming from Buffalo for it's been over 30 years. For some of you guys, it's close to 40.
All right. That's true. That's true.
So just kind of take me back a little bit to how you guys met, where you guys met. I know Buffalo in general, but
It was the Seek EOP program. We was there for the summer. It was a
uh
6-week summer course college. It was great. There's where I met Frank, Trevor, Seth, Danny, Tennyson. Yeah, that was that. And then
That
I also
core,
had
that
some.
core.
Yeah, that core, right. And then I had some Spanish friends, Reggie, Lewis, that I hung out with also around with those guys. But yeah, the core guys that we met summer of '85, bro. I will never forget that summer. You know,
So speaking of the core of you guys met back then. It's like, so let me kind of you know pull people into some of the things that are happening at the same time as well. Every Saturday, and I'm going to put a plug out there. Every Saturday, we have the bar, right? We have a group of individuals who jump on and just chat it up, have a conversation, right? Um, and it seems like it was just yesterday when folks get together, when you guys get together. I'm saying you guys, I'm there as well, but you guys go back a little bit further than I did. But you guys get together and just start talking as if it was yesterday. You were on Forest, drinking 40. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
hey, listen, bro. I mean, you can, like, look, yeah, we did that. We had beer. That's about it. You know, for now.
But again, you guys have those, common, grounds that kept you grounded. You came together and basically saw that everybody was moving in the same direction. So kind of take me there. Yeah, you guys met. There's a core of you guys that met. You do things together. Because again, Buffalo was a different place back in the '80s.
I mean, it's in terms of like hanging out. Uh, we did mostly that together. But like taking classes, I really didn't take classes with the guys. I ended up taking other classes. But in terms of like getting together, having dinner, breakfast, lunch together, hanging out together, we did that a lot. Remember Buffalo at the time, Friday, Saturday was a party.
This is
The pub.
can you see the chat? So brother X, brother. See, so let me let you know, right? I have no
Oh,
control. I have no control in who walk into that room, right?
oh, you
We're
do
in a
have
different.
control. You do have
No,
control.
no,
We
listen.
don't have control.
I don't have control in who walk into that room. So what's coming. I think I'm gonna have to step up security. So I apologize. Next time it won't be like this. All right.
Yo, bro, this is it. This is off the chain, kid. That's all right though, Rick.
Mm, but again, stepping back to the group, right? Everybody had different interests and goals, right? Goals that take everybody into a different direction as far as career is concerned. But when it comes to friendship and brotherhood, you know, um, that kind of kept you guys together. Let's talk about that a little bit, right? Because
Okay.
again, you had a different career than other people and so on, but you all found what you needed to come back together, even though you're in different career, different places, different locations and stuff like that.
Well, the one thing I must bring up, see, because I wasn't always an A student, so I ended up getting on probation, so I ended up going to Erie Community College for like a semester
Okay.
to get myself back into state. So I needed a place to stay. I literally had nowhere to stay, bro. I couldn't live on campus, and that's when your brother Frank, Seth, Danny,
Note here that says the Forest House. Is that where you were?
dude, that was the place to be, bro. That was the place to be, man. You know.
So it looks like they were welcoming, right? Uh,
Oh, very, man. Dude, let me tell you something, Rick. I must say I was very blessed to meet those guys. Like just like you said, we meet right now. We like I get together right now with these guys, and it's like where we pick up where we left off. It's that type of friendship. It's a bond that's very strong. Very very strong.
And speaking of the bond, right, that you guys had, this is sometimes I hate talking about it because then it kind of brings me back to, down memory lane. But we can't talk about that bond without even bringing up, the name Tennyson, right?
Of
A
course, yeah.
brother who we lost, you know, um, recently last year,
Right,
you
right.
know. So let's just let's touch on that just for a little bit, right? Because
Yeah.
Tennyson has been there. He was there. It was there for me when I came in. How did you meet Tennyson?
Through the see, I'm trying to think of like how did we all met, you know, on campus that summer of '85, but I didn't really connect with Tennyson until I moved into Forest Avenue with the guys.
Okay.
Tennyson was living on the attic,
He was in
bro.
the attic of Forest.
Yep, and they had
Okay.
one spot available, and guess who took that spot? Yep, yeah. That's how Tennyson and I, we connected. We would up there alone, just getting to know each other. And I'm talking to him, he's talking to me. Tennyson, to me, I would say he was a very smart guy. That's the only way I could sum it up, man. Hardworking, smart, loving guy, bro. Very loving
Yeah.
guy. Very respectful, very kind.
Yeah. Every time I mention him, it gets a little teary eye every now and then
Yeah, it gets
because
it's what's crazy, Rick? I still can't believe it. Yo, dude, your brother calls me and I'm working out and I'm like, and whenever I get with you guys, I'm always excited. Yo, you see me every Saturday, I'm like fucking wired. So he calls me that day and I'm like, Trev, what's up? What's up? And, he's crying on the other end. I'm like, yo, you okay, bro? And then that's when he breaks the news to me. And he would never play around like that.
yeah,
And I'm like, yo, are you serious, man? And I'm like, I know you're serious. And I couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't.
yeah.
I
It was
broke down
hard
too, bro. I broke.
hard to believe, and it's hard to take.
Yeah, it's still even like right now. I can't. It's like for some reason I think he's gonna show up somewhere, bro.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna get a crazy text from him. You know,
It's crazy Tuesday text, right?
word. Yeah, man. That's how it was with Tennyson. You know, and Tennyson was cool. Like I saw him as being a guy that was friendly with everybody. He was always helpful. Very, very.
Yes.
I know if I ever needed anything, that guy was always there for me. The last conversation we had, he told me he was taking medication. That's when I told him that I had cancer from the 9/11 incident. And then he looks at me, he goes, Tito, I just want to say thank you for your service. I go, come on, Ten. I know, man. Don't, you know.
Yeah.
I said, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, bro. And now once I think that would be the last time I got to talk to the guy.
Yeah. It's really really unfortunate,
Yeah, man.
because I know I saw him at
No, listen. I want you to listen to this real quick. We at your brother's wedding, right?
Mhm.
So Tennyson and I are like, we're looking at pictures. We're doing something with. Tennyson says to me, Tito, send me all the pictures that you want me to edit. So now, right, I'm looking at these photos. Now, mind you, at Trevor's wedding, you was making a speech and you wanted everybody to pay attention. So check it out. So I'm telling Tennyson, yo, listen, Tennyson, just check out. And then Tennyson goes to me, Tito, Rick wants everybody to pay attention. Come on. So he kind of like put me in my place. I was like, oh yeah,
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 and
man.
it's unfortunate that that was where I saw him and caught up with him after some time, because we kind of lost touch, a little
We all
bit,
did. We
you
all
know.
did. I kind of stayed in contact. Like I knew about everybody else through your brother.
Hmm.
Frank told me he was in contact with Cordell. That's how I was able to keep in contact with everybody. For the most part, Frank and your brother, Danny, Seth, I was staying more contact with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's kind of touch on this a little bit because this is one thing that you always reminded us, every single one of us in the group, that our health is the most important thing and to take care of ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And I just want to thank you, for you know for for reminding us, right,
It's important,
that
Rick. It's
this is very, very important, and it should not be taken lightly and stuff like that
I
because
yeah. Dude, let me tell you
that
something.
the situation that you're going through right now, I'm not sure how much you may want to share with the audience and stuff like that.
I mean,
You know,
I have what's called a multiple myeloma. I got this from work when 9/11 got hit by those planes. I was there after those buildings came down, and then what the police department did was they they all the debris that they had from the World Trade Center, they took it all the way to Staten Island.
Staten Island.
The land it was called the landfill, where they put all their garbage. So they
Hmm.
had us, all the detectives, sifting through all those debris looking for body parts. And a lot of guys that got sick
Yeah.
were not just at ground zero where the World Trade Center was, but a lot of them were at the island. And there's where I was a lot down there, and I think there's where I got most of my sickness. They tell you wear your mask. You wear your mask, but
Yeah.
you take it off every now and then to catch a breather of some fresh air. But it was
But again, with even with those masks, right? And you probably know more this that than I do. Even with those masks, some of those particulates just get through those type of masks.
yes,
You needed to be wearing a respiratory
yes,
mask, one of
yep,
those,
yep.
to really protect you from that. So,
Right, those yeah.
and
You need one of those fucking high
yes,
advanced.
exactly.
You
And
know,
again, we didn't know all of those type of things, were in the rumble and stuff like that. So I
there's
totally
another thing.
totally understand. Yeah.
I wonder though, the architect behind taking the planes and going into the buildings, did they predict people will die after the buildings collapse and from the debris? You know what I mean?
No, nobody knew. I can't say, you know, anybody knew what the buildings were made of as far as, asbestos and those type of things. Yeah, the
Well,
buildings were back in the 70s and stuff like that. So we know they have it, but I'm not sure they really thought about all of those type of things.
yeah.
But, definitely, thank you for sharing that. I know it's kind of tough going through those type of things, and always, we're supporting you. We're here with you. We're always asking you about it and stuff like that, how you feeling and stuff like that. So
No, you know what I asked for, Rick? Like I don't want money. Don't feel sorry for me. I ask that you guys pray for me. That's it.
yeah, I mean, I definitely I didn't have any money to give you anyway, so but but we're definitely praying.
Listen to this. Like the first, like I told my family and everything, I got sick and everything. But before I told some of the people at my job, because I was still working once I was diagnosed. I didn't
Yeah,
wanna I didn't wanna stop working. Yo, I called your brother. He got but
hold up. That's what I'm saying. We need to lock these people out of the audience.
let them in, bro.
I
Yo,
don't know what budget they're
nah,
talking about.
everybody
We
got
need to
like
lock them
nice
out.
jokes and shit, right? Nah, like Rick, no, like when I found out, like I told Trevor, I go, yo, bro, pray for me, man. That's all I asked. I called all my friends, bro. Yo, guys, pray for me, man. Pray for me. Look, Rick, I'm gonna be in New York May 1st. I'm gonna do some type of treatment. Again, I'm all I ask for you guys, pray for me. You know,
100%, man. I know we can't be there physically because
I
for the
feel that, but
treatment, the treatment
you
you're
know,
gonna get,
yeah,
your immunity is gonna be down a little, so we can't be there. But you'll feel that energy from us, as a
and I
brotherhood.
do, and
We'll
I
be
appreciate
we'll
that a
be
lot.
talking about you and talking to you.
My
I
ears
can't
will
gu-
be ringing. Huh?
can't guarantee good stuff, right?
I can't, yeah, okay.
But we'll definitely be
You know,
talking,
the the
talking about you, man.
the rad budget.
the red budget doesn't allow travel, so
It doesn't allow travel.
it does not allow travels. So
Man,
it only takes us to a conversation, a Saturday conversation where we'll be talking about you. So let's you mentioned this, how you got sick from work and stuff like that. So let's kind of jump into the work a little bit because your career kind of takes you in a place, where you started out as a civil servant, man, all the way through retirement from working in the courts, working in a hospital, as a consultant,
oh no, coordinator, Rick,
detective,
coordinator.
coordinator. So yeah, coordinator, you know, um, detective to sergeant and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about that. You know,
Okay, I did like a it was like a paid internship with the federal courts
yes.
where I interviewed defendants who obviously got arrested by the feds. I will interview them, and based on the interview, I would make a recommendation to the judge whether this person should be released on their own recognizance.
Okay.
Of course, there was a scale that I followed. You know, they had to be working, they had to have ties in the community, family in the community, stuff like that. I did that for a little bit. I really enjoyed that. Let me tell you, you know what got me really into like this criminal justice field? Getting arrested in Buffalo.
Sometimes those things are eye opener.
Rick, I had zero intentions on ever becoming a cop because they you know how some cops are. Some of them are assholes. I'm being realistic, and I noticed that once you deal with them on a one-on-one, they change up. You know, they're only tough when they're around people. But that made me want to get into law enforcement. I did that. I also did it for the city where people who got arrested by New York City cops, same thing. Interview them, interview the people that got arrested, make a recommendation to the judge whether this person should be released on their own recognizance. The only way they will not be recommended to be released if they had like a warrant, an open warrant, stuff like that. I did that. I worked as a security coordinator at Mount Sinai Hospital. I did that for like about a year, I believe. I enjoyed that. I was an investigator for the Civilian Complaint Review Board. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Civilian Complaint Review Board.
I've heard a little bit about it, but if you
Basically,
want to,
civilians, if you have any dealings with the cops and you feel that they abuse their authority, there's a channel you can go through where you follow a civilian complaint review board against a particular cop.
okay,
That complaint will come to me. I will interview the person who's filing this complaint,
yeah,
and then of course I'll do an investigation on the cop. Then after I do my investigation, I'll bring the officer into my office, and then I will interview him. See, and based on my interview and my investigation, I would say whether the case is founded or unfounded or substantiated or unsubstantiated. Again, it was a job where I was out in the field interviewing people, not being behind the office or being behind a desk or anything like that. And I really, I enjoyed it, bro. Just being on the street, I loved it.
but that was before you became a detective, right?
Like, that was way before I became a
Way
detective.
before.
Yeah. And then after that job, that's when I got the hospital job. Soon after the hospital job, I became a police officer.
Okay, okay. And how long did you stay with the NYPD, the largest police force, I guess, in the United
Uh,
States or the world?
I did I did 22 years.
22 years.
Yeah, I did 22 years. I started off in the subway where I patrolled the subway at night because that's the assignment for the new guys who work nights while the old guys they work during the day. They go home with their family at night. So I did that. Wasn't bad. It was pretty interesting to say the least. And then after doing that, I became like a plainclothes officer in the subway
Okay.
where I focused on arresting pickpockets offenders on the subway.
On the subway.
What
Okay.
I was
Okay.
getting was not so much pickpocket guys. I was getting a lot of sexual assaulters.
Okay. Okay.
Guys rubbing their on girls on the train, grabbing their this shit while the train's moving, literally jerking off on the female on the train.
Despicable behaviors, man.
Yes, yeah. It was it was
Despicable
it was
behaviors.
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that. After I did that, that's when I went into narcotics. I became an undercover
Okay.
for the police department. I was undercover for I worked Manhattan, south of Manhattan, like 59th Street down all the way to like the river, the Hudson River.
Okay.
I did that. It was I was literally a police officer, but I wasn't a police officer, because I was so-called undercover.
So
Like I like
you were getting to know these individuals,
pretty much,
while you're
yeah.
on the streets.
Like I would like there's a what is those streets that okay, you know what's Bellevue Hospital? Are
I'm
you
not
familiar
sure
with
I can
Bellevue
say
Hospital?
yes. Where is Bell? Where?
Like 20th Street down First Avenue.
I'm not sure. I'm familiar exactly where that is,
Okay, well
but
anyway, that's right. There's projects that's over there.
okay.
I would my the office that I worked covered those projects, and believe it or not, those projects had a lot of heroin and a lot of crack.
Back in the 90s,
Yeah, this was late '90s, early 2000s. So me and then my partner, we would go there. Rick, we would dress down. It was
trying to
yeah,
fit
we'll
in.
have a can of beer. This is all police work. We'll have a can of beer, blend ourselves into the projects.
Well, were you allowed to? Because just to stay on that point for a second, as an officer, were you allowed to indulge in those things like a beer and stuff like that just to
For
fit
you to
in?
do that,
They wanted you
yes,
to do that.
yeah, because remember, this is the police department. They want they want you to blend in. You're an undercover. You're not a plainclothes officer. There's a difference between plainclothes officer and an undercover.
Okay. Okay. So you're just trying to fit in just to make sure you can blend into your surroundings.
Right. The guy who you would least expect to be a cop in your neighborhood. That's how the New York City Police Department have guys work. Well, I don't know about now. I don't know about
Yeah.
now. Things are different now. But when I was there, Rick, man, you should have seen some of the brothers. See, I'm not hardcore. The guys who worked in Brooklyn, the covers who worked like Brooklyn, Bronx, and like Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
Those guys, I couldn't even like uptown Manhattan.
Yeah.
You know what a drug dealer one time told me when I was trying to buy drugs for the New York City Police Department? This motherfucker goes to me. This was uptown in Washington Heights. He goes to me, man, you're not no drug addict, man.
You
Yo, I
can
swear to
tell
God. He
it
goes,
can it can see from afar.
what? He goes, yo, you got to yo. At the time, I had an earring. It wasn't a diamond earring. He goes, you got an earring on. You got jewelry on. You don't do drugs, man. Get out of here. It's like that, bro. Yo, brother, Rick, I had a hard time, bro, buying drugs.
Because that's not you though. So that
Exactly, bro. Yep. Dude, I thought cause what they evaluate you. I think like maybe 6 months. And if you're not buying drugs, dude, they'll send you back to
they'll
patrol.
pull you. Okay.
Yeah, they'll send you back to patrol so you could go back in uniform. And that's the one thing I did not want to do is to go back in uniform. You know? But yeah, it wasn't easy, man. Yo, look, my life is never easy, Rick.
Listen, man, and that's what makes up the character and the soul of us, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we go through different things, and we do different things. Our journey might be different, but it is very similar, for a lot of us. So no, I totally hear you, man. I totally hear you. because being being in this city, and I can't say I can say it from experience, but just from seeing the environment, being a police officer in this city, it must be tough, right? And because you're always looking behind you. You always, you know, you want to go home, right? You want to go home to your family, stuff like that. Even though a lot of times, some of us may not see it that way. And having friends who are in the force and stuff like that kind of help shine some light on that
Yeah,
because
exactly. Shine some
you
light
know
on.
yeah, because again, from me knowing you, right, I know how you feel about people in general, right? And then what we see in our lives, day in and day out, right? You're looking at it from a law enforcement, perspective, and then I'm looking at it from a civilian perspective, and sometimes they just you know, don't mesh, right? And to be able to live in that world for so long, for 22 years, right? You said,
22 years, yeah. 22 years.
it must have been tough. So, I got to tip my hat off and give you your flowers, man.
But nah,
Seriously,
you
because
know what I tell people though, Rick? It's only tough when you dealing with somebody who does not want to be arrested.
well, who wants to be arrested though? Let's be honest. Who wants to be
Look,
arrested? Some
keep
of us may come calmly, and then some are gonna act a fool, right?
that's why I focused on mostly investigative work. And if there was a time where I needed to make an arrest, not once did I ever think I was Superman to try to arrest somebody on my own. I would always get the help that I need, which that's why you have problems with certain cops on the street today. They try to do things on their own, and dude, it doesn't work that way. And they tell you that in the police academy. They tell you that. But and at the
Wait
same
for the
time,
support.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm saying, don't go out there and be a Superman. Try to be a Superman.
Hello, exactly, bro. Exactly. Don't Superman. No, no, don't. There's no reason for the Superman job. It was one of the best jobs I had though, Rick. I gotta say because it never felt like work. I worked. Listen to this. I worked doing public morals. You know what's public morals, right? Okay, public morals is they focus on prostitution, gambling, and
Oh,
underage drinking.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
So this was when Giuliani was mayor at the time, and his big thing was these strip clubs are having prostitution going on.
While
Guess
he
who
was
they?
going there himself. But yeah, that's another story. That's for another day, right? He
Yeah,
has
I know.
he had his own club.
Yo,
So
dude. Hey. Well, I'll put it to you this way: when I was on that assignment, Rick, all I can say is that I had perfect attendance.
you're never late.
And I was never late, bro. Never late. Especially when we would
Yeah.
go to strip joints. Yo, dude, we would do clubs, Rick. We would do clubs. They'll give me like fucking $700, $500 to buy drink for ladies on the street. I mean, in these clubs, and try to see if they wanted to have sex for money. That was the thing, you know.
You have to play the part. And I guess that's what it was all about, right?
It
So
was the best in the world, brother. Best in the world.
that so you did all of that, you know, such an impeccable job, over those 22 years. Now that you're at the other side of your career, right? You're now retired, happily retired, um, in a retirement community in North Carolina. I'm sorry, I had to go there. I'm sorry. It is not a retirement community, right? It's a very nice community. I've been there. Now, now that you retired, you don't have to worry about those type of things. Raising a family, the wife and kids and stuff like that.
Yo, yo, I know, bro. Yo,
I
hey,
don't know
I'm
what
not that old,
AARP
Chef.
is,
We're
man.
the same age, Chef. I don't know if you can hear me.
I don't know if that's Chev, but somebody's saying something.
It said I thought it came from maybe because he's on the. Okay, never mind. Yeah, these guys, man, they're hilarious.
But
Hey, Rick, can I
but
ask you a question?
yes, sir.
Are there 20 people, 23 folks on in the audience?
No, I don't believe so.
Maybe
I
that's the
didn't
chat, the number of chats, I guess.
the number of chats. Yeah. Um,
Okay, all right.
I didn't even know anybody was in the audience. So um,
I don't think
I,
anybody's
I'm
there.
I'm I'm pretending as if I'm not even seeing those individuals. I'm not even reading any of their text that's coming through. So don't worry
Good.
about them.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I wanted your brother to be on, man, because I know you're gonna say some funny shit, bro.
no, but you'll get them in a minute. I think we're gonna wrap up soon, and at the
Okay.
tail end, for some reason, we find these individuals tend to jump into other people's conversation,
Yeah, I know.
so you might get some of that. So,
Hey,
but
you was able to link up with other guys to do an interview?
oh yeah, we've done a few.
No, I'm
You know,
saying after me. I'm talking about.
well, we have and we'll talk a little bit about that, as well, because Frank might be joining us later, for another conversation. So we'll see what
Okay, all right.
happens, right? It's probably going to be between 6 and 7, but we'll see what happens there. But back to retirement, right? You're happily retired. We can see that on your face. You're relaxed. You're enjoying it. What now? It's like, what now? You're in that space where a lot of us, can't wait to get to, so we can enjoy that second chapter, right? What now for you specifically? What
Okay.
now?
Most importantly is to get my health back in tip top shape.
Yes,
That's number one. Once I do that, I want to travel with my wife.
nice.
My daughter, she's in college now. She's graduating in December.
In December.
Yeah, for grad school. She's graduating grad school. So that's part is taken care of. Mostly right now, I'm just focusing on making sure my daughter has a good life. I want to make sure I have a nice nest egg for her once I leave this earth.
Travel sounds really good. I mean, is there any exotic places that you want to go?
I mean,
Hawaii,
I can't do like
Bora
you and shit,
Bora.
you know,
What?
because my wife doesn't want to travel that far.
I go to Florida. I don't know what the
Yeah,
hell you're
right,
talking about.
motherfucker. Yeah, okay.
People like me can only afford
Yeah, okay.
Florida. What are you talking about?
Shit. Yo, dude,
You know,
I never thought I'd ever meet anybody that went to the Maldives. I could say I know somebody, so
let's
that makes me feel
listen,
I may be able to go there.
listen. They have AI that can fix up stuff like that, so you never know
Yeah.
if AI actually, Chat GPT did that for me,
Yeah, okay.
or maybe A1 sauce did it for me.
A1, yeah, A1. Unbelievable, right? That's what's running the country, bro. One
But
source. No,
but
but Rick, I mean, not. I want to seeing that my wife doesn't travel that much, or doesn't want to go that far. Rather, we probably do like a lot of Caribbean trips. But if I get with fellas, friends who want to go other places, that's what I'm looking to do. But I got to make sure my health is good, man, because I can't go
that's
anywhere.
number one, right?
Yeah,
Number one, health
yeah,
is number one,
because
definitely.
I can't fuck around, bro. I cannot play.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's the main.
So it's good. It's good that you wanna travel, because that's what I hate using the word retirement, right? Because retirement just sounds like one of those shit, and I'm gonna call it shit, because what we've learned of retirement is people go sitting on their porch drinking
Word.
lemonade and just sit there, and that's I don't think that's our lives, right? I can't see this set of brothers doing that. Just go sit back and pour lemonade and talk and sit on your rocking chair. Our next phase is supposed to be you know um just going out there, whether it's golfing, whether it's traveling, whether it's
Yeah,
start a podcast,
which is nothing wrong with it. Which is
you
nothing
know
wrong.
but but
Hey,
that's what it's
listen, all you gotta do is make sure the equipment works. Release the rad budget. Let the rad budget go and make sure the equipment works. I know a couple of people that are interested in the podcast. I personally, dude, as you can tell, I'm far from tech savvy.
listen, that's why, and I'm not talking about myself. That's why you have a budget for people to help you, and you just sit there and talk, right? So
Yeah.
you can definitely do it if you have and they're making it easier for now, so anyone can do it. So that that's a good thing. So
Good. Good.
So, but I definitely want to, thank you for, taking the time out,
Hey, listen,
sharing some stories, going down memory lane, just, just being here, because you really didn't have to, right?
nah,
I came asking, and you say, gladly, I'm ready when when you are. So I definitely appreciate it.
brother, I appreciate you, man, doing this. It means a lot to me. Yeah, keep in mind too, Rick, it wasn't like I wanted to retire. I kind of was like forced to retire.
Yes.
Oh, I
But after
really didn't have
22
a
years, that's a good, isn't that the next phase kind of thing in public service? Isn't it like 22, or is it 30? Which is it?
20, was it 20 years mostly? For the police
Somewhere around
department
there.
you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah. Yes.
20 years. 20 years.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of what people do to fan up their pension even more, they do an additional 5 years. And that's what I
Okay.
had intended on doing. I was gonna do 3 more years, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to
Okay.
like,
I hear you.
yeah, I
I
had to get
hear
out.
you. But again, I definitely appreciate,
I
appreciate
appreciate
you
you,
getting
man.
on, you know, um, you know, the brothers didn't lash out at you or anything. So, um, so I think you escaped the wrath, well, because
So
because
quick,
the
man.
last
Okay, good. No, no, go ahead.
the last time I heard, and I'm not calling nobody's name, right? But Uki owes his kids and the wife and the marriage to somebody, because
What?
they got introduced at a certain place.
Yeah,
It's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
yeah.
That's where they met.
No, yeah. Ook and his wife, huh?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's the same thing for you, because again, a lot of people owe this brother some flowers, because he introduced them and now they're happy.
Hey, look, if he's happy, man, I'm happy for him, bro.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We went over.
No, it's all right. It's all right. And thank to brother Chev for for jumping on and
Yeah,
and,
man.
and
Hey,
kind of
next time too, we'll technology will be on our side. We just got to make sure
you
about
know
that.
yes, normally around this time, brother Trev would kind of jump in and and give us the lay of the land with with his you know AI stories and stuff like that. But brother Chev,
Sorry for the, but this is a section of our program where we invite our audience members who want to chime in to our scheduled guests. So here we go. No holds bar. Thank you.
Chev is.
Yes,
Chev is in the
sirs.
house.
Yes, sirs.
Oh man, look how loud that. Woo! I gotta turn down my volume. Chev, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Good story.
Oh, were you able?
I concur with Rad. Thank you for your service, brother.
Oh, yeah, you're
And
welcome.
we always praying for you, brother.
I appreciate that a lot.
That's no doubt. Every day, man.
That means the world to me, bro.
And we got you. We got you.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
definitely we
I believe.
definitely we
I
definitely
believe
got you.
prayer works.
it works, brother. It works. But now that we got that over, let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if brother Trev knows how to jump in or anything like that, but it's kind of no holds bar right about now. So
No host bar. Oh,
yeah, you got your piece out, Tito. Now
good.
I
I'm glad, bro.
can't. There's not a whole lot I can say about what happens after. I kind of warned you in the beginning, right?
That's okay. You certainly did. I gotta say though, I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay, what's he gonna? And what are these guys gonna say? See, Trevor especially has a
I
lot
got
of.
a, I do have a question though, T.
Okay. Uh oh.
When you was undercover at these strip clubs, what
Wait, are you asking if he had singles or something?
No,
Is
no,
that is that
no,
what
no, 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 no. I was gonna ask what was the wardrobe like that he wore there.
You have to be Pimp Daddy style, bro. Like fucking.
You went like Tip Daddy, okay?
You have to be decked out, man. Because the police department gave you money, so they want to make sure you dress very well.
You know why that dude told you that you wasn't a drug addict? Because you had the jewelry and the earring on. If you was a real drug addict, you would have sold that shit.
Yo,
Word up, Chevy. Chef, this was in the Heights, kid. So I'm trying to buy drugs from some Dominican cat. I'm like, yo, who's working? One guy didn't even look at me. He goes just like this without even looking at me. I don't know you, and you don't know me. Just like that, bro.
See, if
so
you had a cable,
Rambo wants to know if you worked in Brooklyn.
Nah, Brooklyn was hardcore. I stayed away from Brooklyn, bro. The only thing I did in Brooklyn was the West Indian Day Parade. And that right there was brutal.
now they would have believed you, man, if you had came out with a plate of plátanos and some penin.
Chef, let me tell you, I had a hard time buying drugs, kid. That's the one thing I never did as a young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I did not buy. I could not buy drugs, bro.
Man, you couldn't
I
buy
hear you.
drugs.
I hear you.
Those drug dealers.
You didn't want to buy it anyway, so
Exactly, dude. That wasn't my thing.
And where Trevor X at?
I know, right, Trevor X.
he's having technical difficulty. Like, I think Tito kind of messed it up. Tito, I'm gonna say I've never, all my few conversations I've had, I've never had this type of technical difficulty until
I wonder why, bro.
He didn't spend the rad budget on you.
Yeah, you know what? Yo, you right, Chef. Go ahead. What's up, Trev? You right, yo, Chevy. He was like, yo, this is just Tito. Let me go. Let's go. Let's use the used equipment. You know?
Good conversation, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. Also, you was in the audience.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, all right. That's what I thought. So then this number then is, I guess, just the number of texts that was sent out, because it says 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were 4 people
Okay.
in the audience. I'm the one that called out the virginity thing.
Yo, dude, I know it was you, bro.
Losing the virginity.
And I was.
That's what I thought. I told that to Rick. I said, yo, the Chevy said, man, yo, this was great, bro. I loved it, man. This is fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's again, this whole thing is trying to get the brothers to to tell their stories, right? And that's what this is all about. It's about the brothers, coming in and because we went back, right? We kind of went back to a few conversations every now and then, and I think a lot of people wouldn't mind hearing our stories. And I should be saying your stories, because I really did do anything at Buff State, so it was you guys doing all the stuff, coming from the forest parties and the Richmond parties, and basically wherever Trevor Dane was, there was a party, basically, right?
Word up, right? Word up, bro.
And that is how
We try to keep it going.
and that is how Uki is now a happy man now. That's why Uki's a happy man.
Dude, let me tell you something. I'm still in shock. He's married. But you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad he's married. I'm like,
Brother Ook, I have nothing to say about this or do with this. I have nothing to do with this.
I'm like, when I heard, I'm like, what? No.
Nah, Tito, the shock was it took so long for it to happen.
Yes. Yes.
That was the shocking point.
Word up. This guy's going on their second, third marriages.
And he's
still waiting. Yeah. He took his time. God bless him, man. You did the right thing, bro. Take your time. Hey, don't rush.
Once you find the right one, that's kind of how it works, right? Yeah. You find the right one, and then
Listen. I can say this. We're all married on this. She trained them well.
Speaking of that, I saw. There's a couple. I saw a little. They. A little
hold on, Trev.
A little white boy.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Look who you talking about.
Yo, Brother Ook, I have no idea. I just provide the platform.
He's just providing, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Go ahead, Trev. What you say?
Yeah, but these kids met in grade school and liked each other. Like we're like since once they got to like being teenagers, started dating, and they've been married for like years, grown now with their own
Wow.
kids. But I just thought that story was just so interesting. You know what I'm saying? A little white boy and a little black girl met in grade school and just liked each other from then,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
and
that's
ended up married.
amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's bugged out.
Yeah.
That's bugged out.
Just a little warning, Tito. Uki heard everything you said, brother. Watch your back. You might not be able to see him, but he's around. He's somewhere.
Well,
You
hopefully,
guys sleep with your finger on the trigger, brother.
hopefully, hopefully I didn't incriminate myself.
You know, put that dresser behind the door, because Uki knows where you live.
No, trust me.
He say he on his way to North Carolina.
Yep. Come on, Ook. Man, I love Ook. Yeah.
Yep. Clean it up. Clean it up.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
late.
yeah,
The
yeah.
knife the knife is already in Uki's back.
Conversation sounds a little different now, Tito. You know, so I don't know. I said the conversation sound a little different now that Uki's listening.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, well, listen,
Somebody got real,
I said nothing bad about Uki, man. I don't know what y'all talking about.
somebody got real
I'm
quiet.
glad you didn't say anything
Somebody
about
somebody's
Rambo.
got real defensive too. I wonder why. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the
I'm
tape.
glad you didn't say anything about Rambo. Run it back.
Rambo's
Run
in.
it back.
Ook's my man.
He trying to get in.
Or
It's
Rambo's
going to
trying
be
to get
another
in.
30 minutes for Rambo.
I didn't have
Yeah.
the software.
Rambo's going from Flintstone to this era, so it's a different story.
Yeah, that's gonna take a couple of years. More than 30 minutes.
It's amazing.
That's all right though. This was very therapeutic.
It definitely was, my brother.
Yeah,
It
bro.
definitely
Even
was.
the Saturday we did, I would say 46. We went over went over 3
About
minutes.
almost 50 minutes.
Plus the other pieces that the blooper reel, which is about another 20 minutes.
Blooper reel, man.
Tito can't coming in, and I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I'm able to hear him, but I can't see him, which is crazy.
Yeah, I could. And at
You
one
gotta
point, I could hear you,
pull
Tito,
the blinders down.
but I couldn't hear anything Rad was saying. But I could hear Tito.
Were you able to see us both? You guys were able to see us?
Yeah, I was able to
I
see
saw
you.
both of
audience.
you.
I saw you, but I couldn't. I could only hear you.
Oh, Rick, I wonder why that happened, bro.
It's all on you, man.
In my end, because of my app.
Now Rambo's asking how you turn on the camera. Press the button that says camera.
Looks cam. Tell us.
It says cam.
Hit
I
it.
don't see the invitation yet, Rambo. I sent you a link. Click on that link that I just sent you in your email.
Yeah, go to the new link, Rambo.
Yeah, because you guys are not able to come in from the audience itself, right? You have to get the link directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I came in.
I was gonna ask you guys that. So
You came in as a guest, not in the audience, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
really, wow.
Yeah, so you have to actually get the invitation as a guest for you to be able to come in that way. So once I send you the audience link, you can see and everything, but you can't come into this view like we're in right now.
Joe, I gotta say, Rick, man, thanks for helping me through this, bro. Because, bro, I would have never been able to figure it out, man.
That's all right, man. That's kind of what I do.
Appreciate
That's
it very
kind of what I
much.
do.
Tell Trev, can you drink some water?
It's not kush. Man. What are you talking about?
Joe,
I
he's
took
probably
myself off camera. Maybe I should have took myself off mic too, man.
I know that's
I know this is a PG show, so I try to but fuck it.
Yeah, I do, bro. Oh, man. Nah, yo,
man.
Rick was saying, I'm glad you didn't let me go into details, Rick, for Forrest, because I would have said, yo, there's a lot of it that I forgot because of the weed,
That's all right, my brother. That's why I'm here to pull you back,
Word. Yeah, you
pull
did.
you
Yo, you
back.
did a good job, man.
But here's the problem, right? And Rambo's not here yet. But I'm gonna need either Chev or Trev to help me pull Rambo back because nobody can pull Rambo back.
Yo,
Honestly, both,
Where's Rambo? Where's Rambo?
both, Chev and Trevor and you will be perfect to do the interview for Rambo. I would love to see it. And yo,
Well, I'm waiting for Rambo to give me a time.
he still can't get on, huh?
Right now, he hasn't responded with a time yet. So I'm waiting for the other guys to come back and give me a time and stuff like that. Trev, I just muted you. You can get. Let me know when you're ready to get off mute.
So Rick, you control everything. Then you control the sound and the volume. Do you control volume?
No, I don't.
Well, you control the
So
mics and the.
I can control the mic. I can mute you. I can block out the video as well.
Or you could block out. Okay.
Yeah, I can disable your video for your brief moment and stuff like that.
Yo, listen to this guy. Does this white kid? He's not. I don't want to say he's a kid. He's a little bit older than us.
So just to let you know, I'm still recording. I mean, I can stop the recording now, but I was just waiting for Rambo to come in,
You know, I'm
so
not
I
gonna say the
can.
story.
So let me stop the recording then, because I really wanted Rambo to come in just to get a slight taste, so he can feel comfortable, in his. But it's probably gonna take him a whole lot of time to get in because he's still saying he can't get in. All right, so I'm gonna, you know, again, Tito, just before I end this, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you for coming on and
Anytime, bro.
telling your story, man, telling, you know,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
all the vulnerabilities and whatever it is, I definitely
Nah.
appreciate you sharing it. And our audience is gonna appreciate it, right? It's not just me. Our audience is gonna appreciate, hearing, all the heroics that you have done, for us, being a, NYPD and, detective and sergeant, stuff like that. According to Chef, going to the strip club,
taking one for the team at the strip club.
that type of thing. People, let me unmute you, Trev. People like me who couldn't go to strip club back then, I was
That's
living
why he's.
vicariously
That's
through
why
you.
he's my hero. That's why he's my
Because
hero.
Sorry,
and
bro.
he
Yo, I see myself on the camera, but
and he kept and he kept and he kept it professional because he was never tempted.
Hey,
Not
Trev,
not once. Not once.
And
any
he
way you can
out of
forward that link to Rambo.
out of 500, he came back with 495.
He's like a monk, son. He's like a monk. He was like, just take the money. He's like, take the money. Don't dance for me. You ain't got to dance for me. Just take the money.
yo, just like I told Rick, yo, I had perfect attendance, bro.
You're my hero, man. You're my hero.
Here's
Yo,
here's
shit.
You
$10
my
to go away.
Young lady.
you my hero, man. You my hero.
See, this is what I wanted. Now, Rick, if we would have been doing the interview now, and these guys making comments like that, like right now, you see how they.
It'll be distracting. It'll be distracting if you two were
And
talking
that's
and then we were talking.
All right,
That's
all
why
right.
the chat, because the chat itself threw y'all off a few times. So imagine if we were speaking.
Yeah, it was yo, especially you, Trev. Yeah, that's why I lost my virginity.
yes, yes.
Dude, that's man, yo, no, the check, oh
Mhm.
man, yo,
Okay, appreciate it.
yo, I want to see Frank's interview. I gotta be there for Frank's interview.
What
Okay,
is facts?
As always, I really appreciate you
I
and
think
stuff
later
like
on.
that.
I think it's
So
later
we'll
on
talk about
today.
that other stuff as well. So
Can
thanks again. All right.
you hear us?
Will do, man. All right. Have a good one.
Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you for Okay. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe.
I had nothing to do with
And
anything
thanks
that
for
was being
commenting.
said. All right. Yo,
Yeah. Hey, I love you. Love you, bro.
I didn't know your last name was Musk.
Yeah.
What Kid Musk?
Yo. But wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Chef, you're talking about Rad's budget. Look at Uki's budget. You're able to turn the plane around midair. Midair.
Yeah. By the way,
That's next level. We got to save that for tomorrow. That's next level.
Yo, okay, all right. No doubt, no doubt.
Rambo, what's up, Rambo?
What's up,
By the
Tito?
way, Uki, I just want to say this. Rad used the amateur equipment when he interviewed me. He
Yo,
used the
come.
professional equipment when he interviewed you guys.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know that. You, Trav, and Chef.
Yeah.
The training video, he goes, this is just Tito. Let's use
That's
the
what he
training
said.
video. The training equipment.
Yo.
What's up,
Hey,
Shirley?
Chef,
Must
Chef.
must cut my budget.
See,
All right.
Yeah,
Shit.
Chef.
Get this off.
Yeah, Chef.
It's echoing.
Yo, must cut my budget so I couldn't do certain things. All right. So that's all I'm saying.
Chef froze.
Doge. They doge.
Did you get the
They
wardrobe
doge to your
change?
budget.
They dosed me.
Yeah.
Yo,
Anybody else? Chevy said?
Yo, let me just echo real quick what Trevor and Chevy said, man. Yo, I appreciate everything you've done. You know what I mean? The service that you did, that you've done. You know what I mean? You gave your, you know what I mean? You gave your all. I mean, you know what I mean? You're to the point
Thank you,
where
bro.
you gotta bring yourself back to what it is, and that's what you're working on. So you know you got much prayers going out there for you. You know what I mean? That's
Thanks a
a
lot.
given. That's
Appreciate
a
it.
given, man.
Means
That's
a
a
lot,
given.
man. I appreciate that.
Yes,
So
indeed.
Tito, just a quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Just based on Uki turning the plane around, you can change your mind about the money now. It's not just about the prayer anymore. I can't do the money stuff. Brother Uku can, Brother Uku can do that in a minute.
I'm glad you turned it around. Pedro. My bad, Pedro. Yo, I'm glad you turned it around.
Okay, what you think about my
Yo.
editing, my skills? I'm learning. That was my first, my real first editing video.
Yo, I have some feedback for you, man. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow.
I want to see
For real.
any piece of this.
Yes,
Yo,
for real.
Pedro,
you talking
thanks for
about
joining, man.
the Vegas video, Trev?
Listen, this is PG, all right?
The most recent one where I did like some editing where you have like an intro and an outro and everything.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Remember, this is PG. We can't talk about the Vegas stuff, all right?
Got you.
All right. That was now. I figured why I didn't get together now. I had the Zoom hooked up, and that's what I'm doing a crop because it's not Zoom, right? But
No, it's not Zoom.
Because what's up, Pedro? What time is it? Like 7:00 in the morning out there?
Lord have mercy. It's 1:30.
What rap?
Yo, Rad, good job though, man. You know what I mean? This was one of your tests. When everything goes wrong, how do you handle it? Don't let them see you sweat. You know what I mean, Rad?
Yeah, yo, bro. Yo, let me tell you.
Don't let them see you sweat, Rad. Very good.
Talk to
Initially, I was having trouble getting on, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And Rick was like, "Yo, Tito, just cut and paste here, and go over here." And yo, it finally worked.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. That was a test.
Let me throw something out for a quick second.
Cool.
Let me throw something out for a quick second.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, bro. I'm glad Tennyson's
Tito.
son so far. He's doing well. It seems like he's doing extremely well.
Yeah.
Tito, hold on for a second, everybody. Sorry. I'm just gonna plug this a little bit. Rambo, I need your schedule. Tito, I need your schedule. All right, so we can. Not Tito. I mean, and Rambo, Pedro, and Rambo. I need a schedule from you because see how you're enjoying this right now. This is what we're gonna have on your session. Even though for Rambo, I'm gonna need a lot of support. I'm probably gonna need some weed or something like that before I
think you'll need edibles.
You need that. You're gonna need a couple of volumes.
Yeah, if you guys can, again, even if it's midnight tonight, it's fine. You can send me something if you want to do a session later, or tomorrow before for our other session tomorrow with
All right, I'll try to find something for tomorrow.
Yeah, if you can.
Okay.
I mean, I'm working with your schedule, right? And that's what it is. You don't have to worry about me. I'm trying to work with your schedule. I told you, when I'm available. So if you can give me minimum 45 minutes, but
You froze. You froze.
You there?
Right click
Yeah, he froze up, I think.
for the seizure.
He fro-
I'm looking for. I'm trying to get. If you have any videos of like any interesting things, like 3, 5, 7, 10 minutes, you can forward it to me. I'm looking for some content for my just a thought. Because I'm gonna get some videos, but I ain't got no videos right now.
I like the name, Trev. Aki TV. Yeah.
Just regular
TV.
video.
Did you subscribe? Good look at that. Good look at that. Good look at that.
So you want video of like, is there any perimeters on the video?
No poem. No poem.
fellas,
So
hold on a second.
what it is too is like, even with the sounds, I don't mind the sounds or anything. I can take all of that out, like the talking, or I can
Right.
take out people. You know what I
You
mean?
can take out people.
Yes, sir. Call me on the offline.
All right.
Everybody, just a quick thing before we end, right? Once I stop the recording, don't disconnect or anything like that. I just need your video to be uploaded, all right? So once it's done, you're gonna see it says your video is being uploaded. So don't disconnect the internet or anything like that.
All right.
I've been recording all of this stuff, so I think I'm gonna put a hold on it now because I think
Yo,
we've
wait,
gotten
before
through
you
the
leave, I got a
structured
question.
stuff. Yes, sir. I'm not gonna leave. I'm just gonna stop the recording.
If I want to be an audience the next time, do I have to do what I did before?
I'll send you a piece.
All
No,
right,
it's
okay.
simpler for the audience. It's simple. It's like you just click and you're in the audience. You can hear and see and everything.
You know what, Trev? I don't have Chrome. I have an Apple laptop, so I use Safari and what's this? Firefox. So I added Chrome. Rick told me to add the Chrome, and it finally worked and shit. So okay, next time,
Give me a sec.
I get a call every
Yes,
now and then. Why you want to go?
outside waiting
Pedro.
now. Okay, wonderful. I'll be there in 2 minutes. All right. Thank
yo,
you.
Yes, sir.
by the way, the jet you
All right,
probably
guys.
driving, you flying is probably the same one Michael Jordan just purchased.
Yeah.
I'm
Yo, he purchased some ridiculous jet, bro.
guys.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.